से
ठीक
अजाच।
ठीक है। अजाच बहुवर्णाच पुरुषार्थ प्रवर्तिनी रक्ता नीला सा श्यामा कृष्णा पीता च कर्बुरा सदा तृष्णा जरा वृद्धा। नेक्स्ट पेज।
हाँ
थोड़ा ऊपर
हाँ,
कर दो।
यही है, नेक्स्ट पेज है। हाँ, जरा जरा वृद्धा, हाँ,
ना-
तरुणी।
तरुणी, हाँ, तरुणी करुणालया काला काष्ठा मुहूर्ताच निमेषा कालरूपिणी अ, इच्छा इच्छा भगवती शक्ति
नहीं 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 नहीं, आप कहीं आगे चले गए।
मैं आगे
इसके
चला
बाद
गया।
इधर है। हाँ, स्वर्ण, हाँ, स्वर्ण,
एक मिनट।
रमनाना, रसनाना।
इच्छा भगवती चतुष्पर्शवती रसा गंध प्रिया सुगंधाच सपर्शाच मनोगति
ओके।
मृगनाभि मृगाक्षी च कर्पूरा मोदधारिणी पद्मयोनि सुकेशी च सुलिंगा भग्रूपिणी योनि मुद्रा महामुद्रा खैचरी खगगामिनी मधुश्री मधुश्रीर माधवी वल्ली मधुमत्ता मधोदत्ता मातंगी शुक हस्ता च पुष्पबाण एकश चापिनी रक्ता रक्तांबरधरा खीवा रक्त पुष्पावतंसिनी
बस इतना ही करेंगे बस। वी विल
शुभ्रांबरधरा
स्टॉप हियर, विल
धीरा।
स्टॉप हियर।
यहाँ पर जहाँ पर डॉट लाइन लगी है ना,
हाँ
यहाँ पर
हाँ, यहाँ तक करेंगे
पुष्पा
बस।
पुष्पावतंसिनी। आई डोंट थिंक इतना भी हो सकता है, अगर इनको
हाँ,
जल्दी
करेक्ट करेक्ट।
जाना है। जहां पर भी आपको कन्वीनियंट लगे, जहां पर आपको टाइम लगता है, क्योंकि आपको ट्रेन कैच करनी है, तो इसलिए यू कैन
हाँ,
स्टॉप।
वी विल स्टॉप, इधर तक करेंगे, फिर देखेंगे कितना होगा। हाँ जी,
धन्यवाद।
शेखर जी यहाँ से अजाच बहुल।
Aja.
हाँ,
So, Aja, Ja means comes from the dhatu jana, to be
बॉन्ड।
born. So, Ja, that which is born, na jayate, that who or the principle which is unborn. So, unborn principle, Aja. Why the point of calling the principle Aja or the, Devi as Aja has twofold thing. See, the moment we say birth, automatically the expiry also is automatically taken into consideration. Number two, the concept of birth is something which is very, very spatial and temporal reference. So it has to be bound within the dik and the kala, the space and time. Only then we can speak of origin. So when we say origin, at what time, in what place? Since Parachit is beyond space and time. See, that is how Acharya Kshemaraja starts his commentary on Pratyabhijna Hridaya. This is that which is beyond space and time. Dik Kala Anavachinna. So, one which is beyond space and time obviously has no origin and therefore is eternal. So, the eternal principle is Aja. We have in the Shvetashvatara Upanishad the description of the Supreme as Aja. Not only that, immediately next to it, we have reference to the threefold principles of the Guna, the Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. The three Gunas are not directly named as Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, but they are indicated by three colors. So the mantra of Shvetashvatara Upanishad goes like this: Ajam Ekam Lohita Shukla Krishnam. So we have Lohita Shukla Krishna. So that is why even in this Bhavani Sahasranama, immediately after the Nama Aja, we have the description of colors. So the Devi is referred to by her by various namas which indicates colors. So colors Normal understanding of the color is fine, but there is a spiritual understanding for the term which denotes the color as well. So we will see as we take up each of those namas later. So the next Aja Bahuvarna. Next nama is Bahuvarna. At the same time, she is Bahuvarna. She is of multiple hues, multiple color. How to understand? The same Prakasha, which is the Swarupa of Parachit. If we equate that Prakasha as the white light or the light, the 7 colors that we see are constituent of the white. At the same time, they are integral part of it. So the moment that white light chooses to present itself into 7 colors, we see the 7 different colors. At the same time, it is an integral part of that one single entity, namely the white light. So extending this reasoning, the same Parachit, before the manifestation of the primordial Ichha is one. Once that primordial Ichha takes its germination in Chit, it decides to become many and results in the manifestation of the multiple tattvas. The tattvas may look separate because of the qualities that we normally associate with Parashiva. We are unable to observe in the worldly phenomena. For example, the eternality. When we see the objects in the world, we don't find them eternal. So it is very difficult for us to associate or to understand the worldly objects also as manifestation of Parashiva himself. But the thing is, the differences is coming from the point of observation of the observer. The moment the observer sees the objects as separate from awareness, that Bheda is causing these qualities or the attributes which he is superimposing on the objects. Actually, these are part and parcel of Prakasha only. Prakashatmikena sarvam idam vibhasate. That's what Acharya Kshemaraja says. It's only because of awareness that everything else exists. So, when that point of existence, that point of assuming the contraction, the Sankocha, and becoming many, she becomes Bahuvarna. Bahuvarna is of multiple hues. Hue here is color in one sense, the various types of manifestation. So all the variety that we see in the world, that variety is also the manifestation of that one supreme entity, which is Shiva itself. The next nama. And the other way of interpreting Bahuvarna is also, Varna also means letters. So Bahuvarna means the Matrika Aksharas or the Malini. So she is present as the sound principle also. Because in our Tantragama, the first creation is sound. Only from the Shabda Srishti, the Artha Srishti takes place. So normally when we divide the entire set of the 36 tattvas, we group them into 2. One is the Vachya, the other is the Vachaka. Vachya is the sound. Vachaka is the object denoted, that is referent and referred. So referent is the sound part, that is a Shabda, and the referred is the object. So in this one single nama, Bahuvarna, both these, that is the Vachya and Vachaka aspect, both have been very beautifully been encompassed in one single nama. So when we take it as the color, it is the Vachya Adhva representation. When it is Varna as letters, it is the Vachaka Adhva representation. So Bahuvarna. The next nama is Purushartha Pravartini.
Purushartha Pravartini.
Purushartha, the arthas are the aims for any being. Here, Purusha is not referring to male. Purusha refers to being. So, Purusha Artha. What are the 4 kinds of aspirations for any person is identified in the Shastra. And these 4 aspirations are called as Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. And Dharma is put in the very first because that has to form the basis for the other 3. It is through Dharma one has to aspire to get Artha, that is all the material prosperity. And through that he has to enjoy the world, that is the Kama, and in that enjoyment it should be a righteous form of enjoyment. So Dharma is the Mula for all. So Dharma, Artha, Kama, and when we speak of Moksha, there is no requirement for Dharma, and because Dharma is once again a kind of a conditioning that the Shastra has put upon us. So as long as we are in the Pashudasha, that conditioning of Dharma does apply. In the Moksha Avastha, no conditioning is applicable. So Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha are the 4 Purusharthas. These 4 aspirations for all the beings is Pravartini. She is the one who prods us to achieve these Purusharthas. It is only by her grace a person will be in a position to engage himself in the pursuit of any of these 4 Purusharthas. So, Purushartha Pravartini. We have seen otherwise there are so many aimlessly moving beings in the whole world. There's only small fraction who are really seeking the kind of information or the knowledge that the Shastras are propounding. Why? The reason is that even to seek, one has to have her grace. One has to have the grace of one's own Sri Guru. One has to have the grace of the Devata. And then only even that seeking can occur. So, Purushartha Pravartini. The next nama is Rakta. Rakta, reddish complexion. So, that is one. Rakta also means attachment, being attached. So, she is responsible for the attachment to the various elements. In the Krama system, which is one of the 3 which integrated to become the Trika, that is the Pratyavijna, Krama and Spanda. All these 3 were integrated, and now we refer to the system as the Trika or Kashmir Shaivism. In the Krama system, Rakti is the name given to the sthiti avastha of the Panchakritya. So Panchakritya normally we understand as Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara, Tirodhana and Anugraha. In the Krama, the same are referred by different terminology. So there the Sthiti, that is the status, is referred by the term Rakti. So Rakta, attachment. Okay. Now another implication of the word Rakta is that it denotes the Rajas. Rajas is the one of the 3 gunas, and Rajas is indicated by the color red. Neela. Neela is dark blue. So as a color, Neela means dark blue in complexion. Neela is also a term which we come across, which signifies a sense of depth, resulting in waveless ocean. So, when we speak of Neela Samudra, there are 2 interpretations offered to this term. One is that it appears bluish in color. The other, we know as we go deep and when there is a depth, the amount of waves will be very, very less. So the depth resulting in lack of external movement in the form of waves that is also referred by the term Nila. So Nila as a term refers to the state of quietude, the state of that fulfillment. So naturally, when a person is Purna, he is bereft of any craving. So in our system, what we want to emphasize is the moment we realize that in our true nature of being Parashiva, we are Nitya Purna. We are ever complete. So there is no object from outside that will give me fulfillment. This seeking objects to make ourselves comfortable in whatever way. So we seek different objects to make us comfortable in different ways. Seeking out itself shows the sense of an inner emptiness or the inner void. A person who is Purna from within as a form of realization, not as a mere understanding, intellectual understanding. When he has realized himself as Purna, the flow of direction is always in out, never out in. So that state of that Purnata is indicated by the Nama Nila. Next is Sita. Sita means bright white. So there are various shades of white. Sita refers to the bright white complexion, and in the guna it refers to the sattva aspect. So she as sattva is responsible for the peace, for the clarity of mind, and for the seeking of knowledge and other aspirations that the mind has. So we have to remember it is our manas, which is also influenced, or which is under the influence of these three gunas. So under which guna, and these gunas dominate at various times. Not that our mind will always be under influence of the same guna. So if the sattva guna is dominant, we tend to become more clear in our thinking. We tend to become more seeking the knowledge and kind of thing. If the rajas is dominating, rajas is an active principle, so it leads to activity, action, therefore passion, therefore anger. If our action is not fulfilling the purpose, that results in anger, because anger is nothing but unfulfilled desire is anger. That is why Bhagavan in Gita, he says, Kamat krodho bijayate. How does kama give rise to krodha? Unfulfilled kama is krodha. Why am I angry? I am expecting something to happen. When that does not happen, that results in anger in me. So all these are because of the preponderance of the rajas as a guna. So the mind may be and when the tamas is dominant, the becomes more dull, inert, and lazy, and sort of. That is why there is everything, right from our association, right from the kind of food that we eat, which affects our the way of thinking, the way of our behavior and others. So when the rajas or when the sattva or when the rajas is dominant, it leads to that particular mode of temperament. So sattva is always emphasized so that we attain a clarity, and ultimately the Shastras teach us that we have to go beyond sattva also. It's not that we have to get stuck in sattva. Sattva is the topmost ladder that also we have to cross. So in Gita Bhashya, very beautifully Acharya Abhinav Gupta, while explaining the shloka, Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjana. Three gunas, but you have to aim or aspire to go beyond the three gunas. So, but in spite of that, there he explains, he says, the sattva guna also we have to transcend, but during the sadhana, we have to aim for sattva, because that adds to the clarity and that adds to a purpose in the sadhana, and then we transcend even that. So Sita is tattva in the Triguna concept. Shama. Shama means dark complexion, black. Neela is blue-black. Shama is black. Shama refers to the tamas as a guna, because everything is sucked into the into it. Okay, this is one. But at the Devata level, we all know that the Krama as a system, the highest Devata or the name of the Devata in the Krama is Kala Sankarshini or Kali. So Acharya Abhinav Gupta wrote this verse on the Dwadasha Kali Stava, stotra on the 12 forms of Kali. The fact that these 12 forms of Kali are nothing but 12 stages of cognition that we all have or experience. But the term Kali itself is because all the gunas are absorbed into it. Just as when all the light gets absorbed into the black, all the differences that is felt in the manifested stage, when it dissolves, it results in that darkness or that dark complexion. So at the Devata level, when we see the word Shama, it refers to her capacity to absorb every difference and become a state of an undifferentiated awareness. That is Shama. At the Guna level, Shama refers to the tamas as a quality. Shama. Pita. Krishna. Oh, okay.
Krishna.
Krishna is again black in complexion because it comes from the dhatu krish, to attract. So Krishna is also a black. Shama is also black in complexion. Okay. So Krishna also refers to that state of non-duality where there is no dvaita bhava present. Krishna. Pita. Pita is yellow. Pita refers to the color yellow, also refers to brilliance. So Pita is the state of in the krityas, it refers to the tirodhana kritya, for hiding. So how does the truth become hidden? Truth become hidden in the sense that you cannot actually cover awareness. It presents itself in a more or in a different manner, which the observer finds attractive or actually distraction. So appearing as something else, therefore distracting him from the vision of the true nature. That is referred by the term Pita. So in the various sadhana kramas, when the nyasas are mentioned, there is one practice called nyasa. Nyasa is the act of placing the divinity in the various parts of one's body. So sometimes we sometimes we place the mantra aksharas, the aksharas of the Moola mantra in our body. At times we place different devatas in our body. There is something called tattva nyasa, wherein we place the tattvas in the various. So when we refer to body, it is both the sthula sharira as well as the sukshma sharira. So in both places, this nyasa takes place. And in one form of nyasa, this is called as a kala nyasa. In kala nyasa, there is a srishti kala, which is brahma kala. Then there is a sthiti kala, which is Vishnu kala. That is, there are 10 srishti kala, 10 sthiti kala, 10 samhara kala, which is the rudra kalas. There are 4 kalas, which are the tirodhana kala or ishvara kala. And there are 16 anugraha kalas or sadashiva kalas. So in the tirodhana kala, Pita is the first tirodhana. So Pita is that brilliance which hides the true swarupa behind itself. Pita. Karbura. Karbura is a kind of an ash gray. So usually it refers to a kind of an ash gray complexion. So of the bhasma. The bhasma, when we have to the ashes. when we refer to the color of bhasma, it is the karbura thing. So karbura again is a state of differentiatedness and indifferentiated at the same time. So in the bhasma, we are unable to see the original form, but there is a form that we see, but it is different. For example, if I burn a piece of wood, when it turns to ash, I don't see that same dimension of the wood there, but it is present in a powdery form of a different color, okay, in a different state. So karbura refers to the state of para apara, where there is differentiation, and in differentiation there is an undifferentiatedness as well. So karbura. Kshudha. Kshudha means hunger. So in the Devi Mahatmya, in the 5th Adhyaya, when Devi is praised with the various qualities, there is one, Ya Devi Sarva Bhutesu Kshudha Rupena Samstita. So Kshudha means hunger. So at the physical level, it is the hunger that drives a person towards any of the higher purusharthas. Artha, Kama, not the moksha. The other two, purushartha, is definitely the result of the hunger. If we were not to experience hunger, the Shastra says, we may not be inclined to act. So it is the satiation of hunger that leads to activities in any life form, not only human. So Kshudha is at the Adhyatma level the driving force for volition to act. At the physical, it is the that which induces the person to give energy to the various tissues of the body. At the Adhyatma level, it is that force which propels a person to act. So she is Kshudha. Trishna. Trishna means thirst. Normally, Trishna refers to thirst. So at the Devata level, or sorry, at the Adhyatma level, Trishna refers to a constant seeking that a sadhaka has. The difference between Kshudha and Trishna is this. Trishna is the state when we are thirsty. Normally, we can sometimes even suppress hunger for some extra time, but it is very, very difficult to suppress the thirst. Very difficult to overcome the thirst and keep or continue to work. So normally, Trishna is used to refer to the intense craving for something. And at the Adhyatma level, it refers to the intense craving for attainment of wisdom or knowledge. So, Trishna, the desire to attain knowledge. That is Trishna. She is Trishna. Jara Vriddha. Jara also means old age. Vriddha also means old age. So, it might sound like a tautology when you have both the words next to each other. Jara Vriddha. But both come from a different perspective of this old age. In the sense, when we say something is Jara, it comes from the dhatu from where we get the word Jirna. Okay, something is becoming worn out. Okay, so in that sense, it is Jara. Whereas Vriddha comes from the dhatu Vruddh, to grow. Okay, so it is growing, that is resulting. So when we call someone as elder, okay, someone as old, in both the sense, we are calling him as old. From the lifespan point of view, the total number of years spent on earth, there is a vriddhi, there is a growth, therefore vriddha. From the capacity point of view, there is a wearing out of the faculties and everything else, therefore jara. But how can we call Devi as jara and vriddha? Because she is not composed of parts to get wear out. Only that which is composed of units or parts can disintegrate. She is partless. At the same time, vriddha, she is not bound by any space and time. Then how is the application of the word vriddhi apt in her reference? So for this, the explanation comes from the Bhashya, okay, of Suta Samhita. In Suta Samhita, we come across the implication of Jara Vriddha. She is referred to as Jara in the sense, not how we understand the wearing out in the worldly thing. Wearing out of the passions resulting in the growth of aspiration to attain the true knowledge of oneself. So, while explaining the sutra, Tadvat Tani Panchakrityani Karoti, this is the 10th sutra of Pratyabhijna Hridaya. Acharya says that when you speak of Srishti, Samhara is automatically implied, because when something manifests in one place, the non-manifestation of that object in another place is automatically implied. So Srishti and Samhara always go in hand. So if there is a vriddhi of the desire for spiritual enlightenment, there is a wearing out of the older attachments and the older passions. She represents that stage of the sadhaka, which results in these twofold manifestation of the jara and the vriddhatva. So she is jara vriddha. At the same time, she is taruni. Taruni, ever fresh. Ever fresh because she undergoes no change. She is immutable. Therefore, she is always fresh. Taruni. Mara will stop here, if you don't mind.
Right. Next time we start from Karunalaya.
Karuna.
Right. Right, sir.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very much,
Thank you.
Shekharji. Yes,
No,
we
thank
have
you, thank
short
you.
time today.
Thank you.
We will-
Thank
we
you.
will-
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Namaskar. Namaskar.
Namaskar. Namaskar.